Good evening, everybody, from wet and drizzly South Africa. We are here for episode 37 already of Velospitty Speed Talk. Our episode is called Little Dreamers Dream Big, and the reason for that will soon become apparent when we play our track that we're going to introduce this evening. Now, joining me from England, we've got a truly international show from England, Harrison Rhys. Hi, Harrison.
All right.
Yeah, good. Thank you for joining us. And then one of our stalwart supporters, long-time relationship with Zach Glantz from Arizona in the States. Hi, Zach. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, good. And then from Slovakia, Nikoleta Surinova. Nikoleta, thank you for joining us. First time on the show.
Thank you too.
All right. So this show was, in a sense, a long time in the making because it revolves around a collaboration song that we did. And Zach will know more than anyone how long it took because he put his guitar part down 2 years ago or something like that when he was 12. But more about that song, which we will release this evening in a while. Just running through some racing before we get started. There were no GPs last weekend. They had the MotoGP and the Motocross GP had an off weekend because they have away races this coming weekend. The MotoGP guys in Indonesia and the Motocross guys in Argentina. But there was AMA Supercross. Zach, what did you think of the Supercross last weekend?
That race was so, nuts. So I think Eli Tomac probably would have won the race no matter what, but pretty much everyone behind him crashed. There were dudes who got top 10s in that race who were running 16th before all those crashes happened. So it was kind of a crazy race,
Yeah, it was indeed an action-filled race, and we'll pull Harrison and Nikoleta in here with some racing knowledge because you both, through our interactions, got involved with a bit and got to know about racing a bit. But let's begin at the beginning, which is a good place. So, Harrison, how did this all get cracking for you? How did you get started?
With what, my music?
With your music, basically.
So when I was 10, I did my first sort of live performance in front of quite a big crowd. I just played one song, and it was in front of about 2,000 people, which was my first sort of live performance. And then it kind of took off from there. I played at a festival, did my first half an hour set the same year, and then gradually just got more songs behind me and played in front of bigger crowds and more crowds, really.
Well, if you start with the 2,000 crowd, I'd say that's a pretty good start. And Nikoleta, the same for you. How did you get into drumming? Was this a family thing, or how did you get interested?
Well, it started when I was 9 years old. It was summer of 2016, and so this summer it will be 6 years I play on drums. So it's really big to me.
Right, and you do shows as well, like Harrison did. I saw that you had some activities. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, and now we get to Zach. Zach, we know your history a long time. You sprang to attention with that supremely good cover that you did of the Megadeth song when you were 11 years old, and now you've found your feet with the band. Vassendak, I think, is the band. And how's it going for you guys?
Honestly, so I'm really happy with how the band's going right now. We're kind of taking a little break because our drummer broke his foot, but I think it's kind of good for us every once in a while to go a couple weeks without practice because it allows us to come up with some really good ideas on how to improve like as an overall band. And I think that's like a big thing for me, is always trying to just become a better band, because there's so much to it, to where like, sorry, I'm trying to like say this correctly, but like there's a lot to being a good band. So I feel like even if I think that we are a good band, I always think that there's something we can improve on. And I think these little breaks that we have sometimes is a good chance for us to come up with some ideas to improve.
Yeah, if your drummer broke his foot, then it sounds like you guys are a real racing band, because, in the racing, you always see some or another rider with some or another form of medical support there. Now, just getting back to your band, I know I watched and followed since you started, and I remember a quote by Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters and Nirvana before, and he said what he can tell the young people is just go up on stage and suck. That's what, and I'm not suggesting that you do, but what he said is, you go and play for the 3 chairs and a table, and you're going to get better and better as time rolls along, Now, Harrison, you came to our attention with a song. Actually, before we get to the cover, you came to our attention with an original song that you did. So just tell us, where do you get the music from, and what inspires you to do what you write?
So it's quite difficult. At my age, it's not sort of a lot to write about. So kind of picking at more ideas. So for example, my newest release called Expensive Mistake. It came from, it's quite an odd story, but it came from someone trying to buy something off my website, trying to buy a CD off my website, and she basically bought too many, and it cost sort of about £300, and messaged me after going, oh, it was a bit of an expensive mistake, that one. And then she was like, oh, that's a good idea for your new song. So we kind of took that idea and spun it and turned it into the song that's released now. Well,
now, if there's a lot of songs that are based on true life events. Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple was actually, they were sitting at a cafe in Switzerland when the studio that they were going to use, I think it was a studio in a hotel, actually burnt down, and they saw it from across the lake. I don't know if it was Geneva or where it was, and that was where Smoke on the Water came from. And another 2 good examples I can mention is Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, where Mark Knopfler heard a guy complaining about them having to move the TV sets around in the TV wall in the department store, and saying, look at these guys on the screen, they're doing nothing and they're earning millions. And then there's a guy by the name of Alexander Rybak. He's a Danish, Russian Danish guy, or Belarusian Danish guy, I'm not altogether sure. He was a Eurovision Song Contest winner, and he had a stalker, but it got quite hectic, and he actually got a song out of that. So there's many ideas from that. Nikoleta, just with your drumming, I see that you play some heavy stuff, some rock stuff. So what is your musical preference?
Yes, well, I prefer rock because I like wild music, if I can say it like this. And I'll prefer rock or rock. Yes, a lot of energy. So that's my favorite type of music. But I like how I can say music which is rock pop, if I can say it like this. Right. But sometimes I like to play more chill music too, but that rock is my more favorite.
According her mood.
All right. And who do you train with? Who's your tutor for drumming?
Can you repeat? Sorry, I don't understand.
I say, who is your drum teacher? Who do you go for lessons?
Yes, I going to lessons, but at the beginning, my teacher was my dad because he played when he was young too. So he teaching me at the beginning, but like the time going, I started to going to more techniques lessons, and I going to this time too. So I want to maybe try at the future more techniques drumming when I can show
Right.
and what I teach.
Yeah. Well, look, you say he played drums when he was young. I think you never have to stop. I think if you're a drummer, you can play until the morning of the funeral. You can drum pretty much right up to the end. Now, Zach, we come to our involvement with the musicians and the racing with Youth Force Racing, and we spoke first in 2000 and whatever, when Tim Geiser was on his way to winning his first MXGP world title. He had already been an MX2 world champion, and he became the youngest MXG world champion. And we used your song, the one that you did, the Megadeth cover, and that song of yours had more than 1 million views by the time I ran across it. So how did you get to doing that particular cover?
It was just kind of a song that I had liked for a long time, and one day I just kind of felt like learning how to play the song. It sounded like a fun song to play, and when I did, one of the first things I did with the ability to play that song was deciding to make a YouTube video covering it. And once I did that on guitar, and I learned the same song on bass because it was just a song that I really liked because it's a great song. So once I learned it on bass, I did another video covering the same song. And yeah, it's just a song that I really like.
Yeah, and there's where we can do a little claim, because I asked you if we could use this song for a Tim Geiser video, and then asked you if you would do the bass part as well. And now just to get our viewers rounded in, because each of you three did a song for us that we featured with a rider or more. And we want to feature this so that the audience gets a good idea of where all of this comes from before we do the big reveal of our song. So here, let us grab some popcorn and have a look at Zach when he was, I think you were 11 at that stage, right, Zach?
Yeah.
All right, when Zach was 11 years old and he ripped out this little song that we used for a video for Tim Geiser, multiple motocross world champion.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I'd like to congratulate Tim Geiser for winning the MXGP World Championship. I can't wait to watch your races at the Monster Energy Cup, and a big thanks to Tin Snow for putting this all together.
Well, there you go, Zach. You showed us some great attitude there. Harrison, what did you think of that playing?
Yeah, I mean at 11 especially, that's really impressive. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so you'll give him a job then.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
All right, and Nikoleta, now you didn't know much about racing before. I think before we spoke. So what are your thoughts when you see the motocross and things like that and all that action?
I like that because I don't do any sports, but I like adrenaline, if I can say it like this. And it was really good looking when I look at it. And sometimes I was like, oh my god, wait. Like I was really enjoying it because I like it.
Yeah, and of course the rider there is Tim Geiser. He's from Slovenia, a couple of countries across from you, not exactly neighbors, but not too far away either. Zach, of course, you got a nice present from Tim for doing that video. So tell us about that.
I got a autographed jersey from him from that season.
Yeah, and of course, I hear now. I mean, this is not my my big thing, collecting jerseys, but I hear those jerseys are a lot. They quite big value nowadays. Nikoleta, and then we went to you. We had to do a video for Maximo Martinez Quilez. He's a Spanish rider, not a motocross rider. He's a road racer, and he rides in the European Talent Cup. We did the video halfway through the season, and then Maximo actually ended up being champion of that series. Did you actually start following him after you got to know about him?
Yes, of course.
Oh, all right. So Maximo he's like a bouncing rubber ball. He's one of our favorite riders. He's always very easy to talk to, always very grateful for everything everybody does for him. And just to show a different aspect of the sport, let us look now at what Nikoleta did. You did a song by Muse. Is that correct? Yeah, and we used your drum part and we put together this video.
The riding start. An injury already, definitely a Moto3 rider of the future then. And
All right, now there you go, guys. That was another aspect of the sport. Zach, do you follow road racing as well?
Not really. I'll watch like MotoGP like occasionally, but I don't follow it like intently like I do motocross.
Right. Yeah. Now, it's amazing to see a guy like Maximo, who is your age, basically. Zach and Nikoleta, he's about your age, and going in very competitive sport. Many guys together, well over 200 kilometers an hour, or Zach 140 miles an hour. That's insane when you think of it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Right. Harrison, do you follow? Did you follow any form of motorsport before all of this?
No, not before. I still don't know a huge a lot about the sport, but I mean, it's quite fun to watch.
Yeah. What sports do you like, actually?
So, obviously, in England, football is a really big sport over here. So I follow that. I play cricket as well sometimes. I know that's reasonably big in South Africa as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's quite big, and I remember when we just got to meet each other. You had some great bowling figures. I think you had something like 4-4-6, or something of that order. Is that right?
Yeah. So it was 4 for 10. I was playing in a midweek. I was playing in a T20 game, and I got 4 for 10 in about 3 overs. I think it was. Yeah.
All right. Now, Zach, in baseball terms, that's I'll try and think of a comparison, but that's insanely good performance. Harrison, I showed Mum. There's a Twitter group called That's So Village, and then that's all about village cricket and all the funny things that you run across with that. And now, Nikoleta, you said you don't do sport, but do you follow any sport? Is there any sport that you like?
Not at all, but I like when I can see maybe hockey or football. Then I watch it a little bit, but not that more. More I like music, and yeah,
Well, that's good.
According to the season.
Yeah, it's good to be focused on your music, and now we got. I played the videos in order. Zach, I met some years ago. Nikoleta, sometime later, and then Harrison, I ran across your channel when a huge tragedy happened. When Renee Hoffer died in an avalanche in the off season. He was young. He was 19 years old. He had just won his first GP last year. He was a former junior world champion, 85cc junior world champion, and he was touted as a potential world champion this year. Now, it's a huge tragedy, and we felt it closely in the community, and I thought I'd want to make a video for it. And I don't know what form of serendipity it was, because I was looking at songs, and just as I was looking, that Sting song that you did, the cover, came up. So tell us how you got around to doing that track.
So I recorded it up in the studio that I work with, called Charthouse Studios, and I didn't use any sort of like drum beat or anything. It was just played it live, just me and my acoustic guitar in the studio with them.
Yeah, and actually for what we then ended up using it for, it was perfect. It was poignant. It reached straight into your chest and touched your heart. And this is again, it's a tragic story, but I think it was a great tribute that we could pay to Renee. And this was Harrison's version of Sting's Shape of Mine.
deals the cards as a meditation, and those he plays never suspect. He doesn't play for the money he wins, he doesn't play for respect. He deals the cards to find the answers, the sacred geometry of chance, the hidden law of a probable outcome, and numbers lead a dance. I know that the spades are the swords of a soldier, I know that the clubs are weapons of war, I know that diamonds means money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. He may play the jack of diamonds, he may lay the queen of spades, he may conceal a king in his hand, while the memory of it fades. I know that the spades are the swords of a soldier, I know that the clubs are weapons of war, I know that diamonds means money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. And if I told you that I loved you, you maybe think there's something wrong. I'm not a man with too many faces, the mask I wear is one, and those that speak know nothing, and final to their cost, and those that curse their luck in too many places, and those who fear lost. I know that the spades are the swords of a soldier, I know that the clubs are weapons of war, I know that diamonds means money for this art, but that's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart. That's not the shape of my heart.
Well, there you go. Very poignant rendition of that song for a very sad occasion. And now we're getting to the business end of our chat, which is what brought us all together. This was the song "A Little Dreamer" by Van Halen, and in order. I floated the idea some years ago, and as I said, it was a long time in the making, with trying to get things together internationally. Zach, you did the guitar part first. What do you remember of the time when you put it down, and was it an easy track to do for you?
Oh my gosh, it was so long ago. It's kind of hard to remember, but like, So to say if it was like a difficult song, it was like it was like a challenge, but it was more than anything, it's just a really fun song to play. Like Van Halen songs are in general like extremely fun for me. So like sometimes like I'll just be playing Van Halen in my room and I'll completely lose track of time and it'll be like an hour I just spent in there playing riffs because they just wrote super catchy and fun to play music.
Yeah, I must actually. I'm going to send you a video of what I regard as the ultimate '80s glam rock video, and that is Yankee Rose by David Lee Roth. And you know, you have all the excesses of the '80s in that thing, and speaker stacks and lighting on the stage that you cannot begin to believe. Okay, and then Nikoleta, then we got to you, and you put the drum part down over in Slovakia. Did you do it at your home studio, and how was it for you?
Well, it's different than in school, that's for sure. But that I can spell more time drumming and that drumming techniques, all that lessons. So it's more good for me. Then I can spend more time for my drums, or I play xylophone too. So I like to play more than before.
Right. And when you recorded this song for us, how was it for you? Was it an easy task or difficult, or how was it for you?
Well, it not be so that hard, but I like to play to more good, like more good how I can play it, because I want to show people I really want to be more and more and more good at drumming. So I really trying all song play how the most good how I can.
Yeah, that's great, and the result was great. And then Harrison, we got to you with the vocal, and Mom said to me that because when I got the track back, I was blown away. I was really happy with it, and I said, how was that with your range? Weren't you strained? Because she said it's a bit higher than you normally go. So how did you find the recording of the song?
Yeah, so it's definitely probably the most difficult song I've ever sung in terms of how high it goes compared to what I would be comfortable going. It was sort of it was about 2 or 3 semitones higher than I can generally go. So it was a big challenge, but yeah, we it turned out. I thought it turned out quite well anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So did I, and the studio guy, I guess he helped you a lot to get across the line with this, right?
Yeah, so they're really helpful, and they sort of can help with how to push notes that are really high or really difficult to hit. So they were a big help. Yeah.
All right, and then of course your mate Finn couldn't make it this evening, but you roped in to do the bass part for us, and please tell him thanks from us. It was solid, like a bassist should be. And how did he enjoy the experience?
Yeah, so I gave him a message about what he needed to do, and he done it straight away. He went off and learned it, and he said to me that it was a really fun process of learning it and recording it as well.
All right. Well, there you have it. And I spent today. Now, the idea behind this song, the whole concept was that we would get 4 musicians from different locations to record the song. And then we will do an action video with 4 riders, 2 motocross riders and 2 road racing riders from 4 different countries. So that's the next part of the project. So we're halfway home, but for the musician part, we all the way home, and I think in a good way. And I've put a little video together of the song. For most of you, it's going to be the first time that you're going to see it in final form. The video is on YouTube. It will be public immediately after this interview, and I will also give it to you to share on your social media. So let's see you all in action, ensemble.
They talk about you cold when you were headed for the sky, but you were young and bold, and baby, didn't that change with a wink of your eye? Now no one's talking about those crazy days gone by, and no one's talking about the times you cried. Little dreamer, little dreamer, they wouldn't make only two is likely to succeed. I had to tell them, baby, you were on with all you did. 'Cause no one's talking about those crazy days gone past, and they amazed when you were really last. But the little dreamer, little dreamer. Talk about you cold, you were headed for the sky. But you were young and old, and baby, didn't that change in the wink of your eye? Seems no one is talking about those crazy days gone past, when they amazed when you were really last. You are the little dreamer.
Well, there you go. There's your video. Thank you very much for your contributions to that song. Nikoleta, I'm not a good drummer, maybe behind my desk when nobody is looking, but those last 3 or 4 notes that you played there quietly, I can maybe do that when I've studied for a week or so. But what did you guys think of the result? Zach, how did it come out for you?
Oh, it sounded amazing. I was actually like, I'm not going to say surprised because I expected it to be really good, but that sounded really, really good. Like, honestly, I'm really happy with the result.
Yeah, as am I. It was a long time in coming, as I said. And Harrison, what were your thoughts then?
Yeah, I thought everyone did really well. I'd say I agree with Zach there. Yeah, the turnout I thought was really good.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you guys all the video so that you can share it on your own social. And then Nikoleta, you saw the video. Dad saw the video earlier today. So did you see it, or was this now the first time?
I see it before, but every time I see it, it's really good and I really like it.
All right. So now I spoke about social media. Just run us quickly through with your social media, Nikoleta. Where can people reach you and get to learn about you?
Since autumn 2016, I publish drum covers on my YouTube channel. Currently, I have more than 56,000 viewers and subscribers and more than 9 million views and all. And I also publish posts on my Facebook, Instagram account. So I started
Yeah, and
2016. Well,
and people can find your Nikoleta drummer, right? That's where they
yes,
can get you,
but
right?
so like
Or-
Nikoleta, sure you know that, but more than Nikoleta drummer.
Okay, all right, and I'll be sure to post all the links with the video when we make it public. And Harrison, what are your social? Where can people reach you?
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Harrison Rhys Music. Rhys is RHYS. I'm on YouTube as well. All my original stuff is on all audio streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. So that's where you can find me.
All right, and do you, just a question, do you use Bandcamp as well? Because when I worked with musicians, strangely enough, we had a lot of good results from using Bandcamp.
Yeah, so I do use Bandcamp to release some music. I did an original song for a mental health charity, sort of as we went into lockdown a couple of years ago, and I used Bandcamp to release that as well and raise loads of money for the charity. So Bandcamp's a really good one.
All right, well, thank you. And then Zach, where can people reach you and your band?
On YouTube, for me, it's just my name. For Vicindac, I believe it's vicindac.band. And then on Instagram, for me, it's at Zach_Glantz, no caps. And for Vicindac, it's VACENDAC.band. And I believe it's the same on Facebook as it is on Instagram. And also, Vicindac now has music released on Spotify and Apple Music. Yeah.
All right. Now, just a quick one. The name Vicindac, where did you get it? Because that's not the name that you kick out from under every rock. Where did you guys get the name from?
So our singer, actually, he brought the name up because it was the character, or I'm sorry, it was the name of a character played by Mick Jagger in a movie called Free Jack. And basically, he came into practice one day, and he told us that, hey, Vicindac, it sounds cool. You want to make it our band name? And we all liked it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And let me tell you, if I can tell you a small campfire story. I followed from a very young age a Spanish singer by the name of Danny Fernandez. He's just hit #1 in Spain now, by the way. I followed him since he was in Junior Eurovision many, many years ago. And then they started a boy band in Spain, and I actually went to Madrid for the launch of this band. And the band's name was Auryn, AURYN. And I actually liked the band. They were very good. They were five proper singers, in the band. Five guys that could really sing. And then I asked their manager, where did you get the name Auryn from? And he said it's the name of the amulets in the never-ending story. And then I liked the band even more because I loved the never-ending story. And if you haven't seen that movie, maybe go and give it a watch. So, guys and lady, thank you so very much. We spent nearly around an hour, and the time just flew by. Thank you so very much. I'm gonna send you each the links to the YouTube and the original track, so you can share it freely on your social. So thank you, Zach. You have any final words for us?
Just thank you for having me here. Thanks for this whole opportunity to do this cover, because it's a great song and it turned out amazing.
All right, thanks, Zach, and we'll be in touch about the racing as well. And Harrison, we're also going to talk because there's more projects coming your way. So what are your parting thoughts?
Again, thanks for having me on. It's been a real pleasure, and I hope everyone enjoys the song that we're releasing.
All right, there you go. And then Nikoleta, the lady, gets to do the exit. So what are your final thoughts?
I thank you so much too, because this is my first Leo Hawaii video, so it's really different for me, but I really enjoy it, and I wish this wouldn't be the last time.
All right, well, 100%. And then just before we go, I would like to say thanks to the mums, Amanda and Louise, and the dad, Ramon, for doing such great work in getting this all together. This is me, Tina Snell, signing off from a Velospitty Speed Talk. We're going to play out again with the track. I've had a few messages, people asking to you. Nikoleta, we had a question. Nikoleta, which country are you from? We'll just repeat. She is from Slovakia. So for that listener, and we'll play out again with a song and then the theme song, and then keep watching on Youth Force Racing for more interviews coming up. We've got a very, very exciting interview coming up with a massively growing up-and-coming motocrosser, but we'll tell you about that in the next edition. And with that, it's me, Tina Snell, signing out.
Talking about you cold when you were headed for the sky, but you were young and bold, and baby, didn't that change with a wink of your eye? Now no one's talking about those crazy days gone by, and no one's talking about the times you cried. Little dreamer, little dreamer, they were the name only you is likely to succeed. I had to tell them, baby, you were all with all you did. 'Cause no one's talking about those crazy days gone past. They were made when you were really last. You are the little dreamer. Little dreamer. Talk about your cold, you were headed for the sky. You were young and old, and baby, didn't that change in the wink of your eye? Seems no one talking about those crazy days.